Welcome to Nav Classes. Our today's lecture is on critical issues of human resource development. Firstly, please subscribe and ring the bell to get all lectures in your email ID. So let's start with our today's lecture. There are three critical issues very important for human resource development. Firstly, strategic management and human resource development. It is very important nowadays and we consider it as learning and performance wheels hub. Okay, we discussed in our previous lecture. So here we are going to discuss in detail. Then there is supervisor's role in human resource development, organizational structure of human resource development. Okay, strategic management and human resource development. Strategic management involves a set of managerial activities and actions that are intended to provide completely superior fit with external environment and enhance the long-run performance of an organization. Here very important points are: this is completely superior fit. We want to provide a very great fit which is very good for the organization. It should comply with external environment that it is facing and it enhances the long run performance. Remember, strategic management is for long run performance of an organization. It's not considering only the current goal of organization. It says we are considering here all goals which organization is willing to get and willing to meet in long run. Then it involves several distinct processes, includes strategy formulation, how to formulate a strategy and how to implement that strategy and how to control it for over a long run. It is very important as and when need arises. It is important to control such a strategy which is not good and which desires to change so that we can meet our long-term goals of organization in strategic way. Then in the past 2 decades have been increasing interest in strategic management, strategic human resource management. Various type of researches are being done in this area and action concerning strategic human resource management. To do this, two type of alignments are necessary. Firstly, external alignment is necessary between the strategic plan of organization and external environment that it faces. Secondly, internal alignment. We understood external alignment and internal alignment of strategic human resource management, SHRM. Okay. Then there are some areas of concern in SHRM, and these are management practices, how employees are managed and treated. Example, how much do employees participate in decision making? To what extent they can participate in organizations decision making? Then there is organizational structure, how an organization is structured. For example, how flat is the organization's managerial hierarchy. Then there is human resource system, how employees are selected, trained, compensated, their pay scale appraised, and so on. Example, how closely is the pay linked to individual, team, or organizational performance measures. So if we are going to decide particular pay of an organization's employee, then we should consider the pay as per the individual's quality, as per their team efforts and organizational performance measures. Other work practices and systems. Example, to what extent is the technology or an information system is used to facilitate the work process? To do a particular task, to what extent technology is required and information system is required to do that task. The value of this approach lies in looking at the organization as an entire system. Here we are going to discuss human resource development's executive and professionals can demonstrate the strategic capability of HRD in three primary ways. So these are the three primary ways of demonstrating their own strategic capabilities. So these are, firstly, directly participating. The HRD professionals and executives can participate directly, and executives should contribute the information, the idea, recommendation during the strategy formulation and ensure that an organization's HRD strategy is consistent with all overall strategy of a organization. The HRD strategy should offer answer to the following question: are the organization's HRD objectives, strategies, policies, and programs clearly stated? Are all activities consistent with organization's mission, objective, policies? How well is the HRD function performing in terms of improving the fit between individual employee and the job? Are appropriate concepts and techniques being used to evaluate and improve the corporate performance? Secondly, it says the strategic role of HRD professionals is to provide education and training program which is going to support the effective strategic management. Training in strategic management concepts and method help line managers to develop global perspective that is essential for managing in today's highly competitive environment. Finally, HRD professions must ensure that all training efforts are clearly linked to the goal and strategy of organizations. Okay, although this may seem obvious, it is not uncommon for the link between training programs and organization strategy to be so far from clear. The growing emphasis on strategic HRD is part of this movement to build a stronger business case for human resource development programs and interventions. So therefore, the need arises due to growing emphasis on strategic HRD to create HRD programs and interventions so that organization can achieve organization's goals in strategic manner in long run. This fully supports the placement of business strategy at the center of learning and performance wheel. We discussed about learning and performance wheel in our previous lecture. So here we come to know that business strategy is the center, is the hub of learning and performance wheel. Now the supervisor's role in human resource development. What is supervisor's role? If we see smaller organizations, then there may be no training department, even no HR department. So all HRD efforts fall upon supervisors and managers. Supervisors and managers are responsible to do all human resource development efforts. Why? Because human resource development efforts are need of today's time. So it is important to impart those developmental activities. But who is going to do if there is no HR department? Supervisors and managers. So it says it is the supervisor role to implement HRD programs and procedures. On the job training can become imparted, like I discussed in our previous lecture, that on the job training by show, tell and do. And in this manner you are performing your task as well as you are paying your employees and as well as you are training them at the same time. Then coaching efforts, mentoring and counseling are to be done by supervisor, which are the part of human resource development. Career and employee development is very important. Why? Because if we are developing our current career of our employee, keeping in mind the long run career of our employees, then they can do well and they can grow within the organization. So indirectly we are developing our employees. Supervisors function as frontline participant in human resource development, whether this is the large organization or small organization. But supervisor is the one who is going to impart all HRD efforts to employees directly. So it says frontline participant. Next is organizational structure of human resource development is very important to see whether which type of HRD efforts are to be imparted and how. It depends on company size, industry and maturity. No single structure can be used for this. It depends on the large part on how well the HRD manager becomes an institutional part of the company, that is revenue contributor, not just revenue user. Here very important term comes that HRD department should consider as revenue contributor, not as revenue user. If we are spending a lot to develop our human resource, then in turn it should contribute in revenue, and it will contribute because if we are imparting our employees knowledge which will help them to develop for longer time, then our employee is going to put their all efforts strategically and in good manner so that it can raise company's output. Indirectly it will put their effort in company's profit. So it is considered as human resource development will contribute to the revenue, and it is not just revenue user. So here we end up with our today's lecture. Our next topic will be on the framework for human resource development process, and in that we are going to discuss need assessment, design, implementation and evaluation. So must watch and please subscribe if you didn't yet, and ask your friends to come and subscribe so that you will able to learn in groups. Thank you.